Hi, I'm the Space Quest historian. Welcome back to Space Quest 6. I felt like I needed a relaxing game to play today, so why not Space Quest indeed? Something that always relaxes me, as I am miniaturized and walking around someone's intestines. It always brings a smile to my face. Okay, let us venture forth into the opening that was previously guarded by the nanites. This looks not creepy in the slightest. And honestly, while the music isn't, terrifically awesome, this installment, I think it was composed in a bit of a hurry. It was composed by Neil Grandstaff and Dan Keeler. And I'll bet they're fantastic composers in their own right. I'll say the soundtrack work they did for Space Quest 6 is not, doesn't really hold up to the high standards of previous installments. However, the music, when you are traipsing around inside Stellar, and especially the music when you're coming down this dark tunnel and around this bend, it just sends a shiver up me spine. Which is odd, because we're rumbling around inside the intestines in the belly area, so maybe it should be, jiggling me guts or something. But anyway, this is where we are. Oh, we forgot to look at the other location, but let's look at this one.
This looks like the center section of the duodenum. It has that same lovely bile green brilliance.
And you'll notice I just ran through the other location because there isn't really a lot to do up there. It's just a sort of transition screen, for the music to kick in. Absolutely nothing will happen on the screen, I promise.
This is the upper area of the duodenum. Matter preprocessed from the stomach enters here through the pylorus above. It has a lovely bile-colored decor, and for a very good reason. This is the area in which raw processed ingestibles are mixed with a variety of secretions for further breakdown.
This almost turned into fucking edutainment, didn't it? Yes. Okay, well, we can go down here and explore further. Don't think I didn't notice the big anus-like cavity in the center of the room there, but let's just go down and see what we've got here. A little bit of a transition.
This is the place where the duodenum meets the small intestine. The mixture of food, acids, bile, and enzymes move on from here and pass over the villi, where nutrients are absorbed into the bloodstream. And it's a fascinating place, wouldn't you say?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, I am fascinated indeed. This is borderline edutainment stuff. What in the fuck just happened there? Well, what? The screen just scrolled past the, Okay.
Since you've entered the tapeworm not partially digested, you'll probably give him heartburn. I hope you're proud of yourself.
Well, I wish we could have seen that. That would have been awesome. And now the game is frozen. The game is frozen on the restore screen, because the restore screen is probably somewhere up there, and I'm all the way down here in no man's land. It has been one of those kind of days, you know what I mean? Okay, let's just see if this happens again. Intriguing stuff. Yep! You just scroll right past the fucking thing, and now we're boned. And I don't even think I can restore. No, I'll have to restart the game again. Maybe it's a cycles problem. This is what, DOSBox can get a little unruly sometimes. Okay, you will notice a slightly less heroic stomp to Roger's animation. That's because I've now turned down the cycles quite a bit. So let's see. There we go. Oh, I guess it's a programming error more than anything. I guess it's because when Roger is supposed to climb down here, the screen scrolls, and when he gets into, player control again, such as this, that's when the screen is supposed to stop scrolling. However, if your computer is too fast, then that scrolling animation just shoots right past the screen before Roger can get into, player control situation again. It's slightly shoddy programming, I feel. Anyway, let's have let's visit a good old look at holy cripesy indeed. Hello, sir. Good sir, how are you?
Great Scott, that certainly is one buff parasite.
I think I'm gonna spew. But who'll notice? Man, that thing is ugly.
He's a ventriloquist. Let's have a chat with it.
You start to say something and...
Never mind. Let's pet it.
That has no effect. At least it appears that way.
Ah. However, did I remember to pick up? No, of course I didn't. Alright, I'll be right back. Oh, right, I forgot. All the remaining M&Ms were washed away by the stomach acid when we pushed the Twinkie into it. However, it is clear that we're supposed to use this timed release pill.
It's one of those tiny timed release pills.
And if you try and pick it up, the narrator will just say,
An interesting idea. What are you up to, Roger?
Now, this line is a reuse from the brig scene, so apparently someone got a little lazy there. The reason why I wanted to pick up one of the M&Ms was that if you have one of those in your inventory and you throw them at the tapeworm, unfortunately my save games don't go quite that far back, if you toss one of those at the tapeworm, he'll sort of speed up a bit, and then he'll slow down a bit. So that would indicate that he's very, very happy about sugary stuff, or at least stuff that makes him pep. I guess that's the hint that you're supposed to feed him something. It's a little obscure, so, well, we can't do anything with it right now because the pill is too big to carry. I think that's what the game was supposed to tell me when I tried to pick it up, instead of an interesting idea. What are you up to? Well, fuck if I know, I'm just trying to solve your puzzle, little game. Alright, onwards to vengeance. Now there are two paths that we can take here. We can go up here into the gallbladder area, or we can go right and have fun with some bile. I think there's bile in both. Fuck it. What do I know about the human body? I just live in one. Let's have a look. Let's see if the narrator can help us.
Welcome to the heart of the bile belt. This is indeed Spew Central. At this location, secretions from the liver, gallbladder, and pancreas merge to form a duodenal delight, guaranteed to break down almost anything the stomach doesn't. The common bile duct runs up from here.
Common bile duct. So this is where you throw up from. I think there's the gallbladder up there. What's all this gradient stuff?
That's the top part of the head of Stellar's pancreas. An odd feeling passes through you just being amongst Stellar's organs.
Took him this long to get a strange feeling about what the fuck is going on. Alright, I say we head right first, because there's something we need here. And, well, we need it. We need it desperately. Ooh.
This is the main pancreatic duct. It appears that there's some blockage toward the tail of the pancreas. It definitely gets a bit snug. Seems to be a buildup of cholesterol arterial plaque.
Can't wait to see it. That's gotta be... Oh, look at that gooey, yummy goodness. Let's have a good old crawl in it, shall we? The art design in this game really had a lot to do with, let's draw a circle and then color it in with a gradient. I mean, check this. All right.
It looks a lot more detailed than it did in Space Quest 4, that's for sure.
Okay, didn't bother to write a description for that. How about this stuff?
You are visually unimpressed.
Nope. I think we're just supposed to randomly guess that we have to insert these guys and then inflate them. Yep. So, no hint. You're just supposed to randomly guess that. Those were capillaries, I think. You could just inflate those. I didn't know you could do that. Guess that's something for experimental surgeries too. Also, did he just crawl into thin air? I think there was something wrong with the blocking there. Anyway, welcome to the Isle of Langerhans. Now this screen was also shown on the back of the box as a family-friendly internal Space Quest game or something. Wait, let me check. Ah, yes. Who knew the human body could be so slimy? Explore almost 100 3D rendered interior, and we do mean interior, scenes. There it is. Except this wasn't actually 3D rendered, it was hand-drawn with a mouse on a PC. Michael Hutchins, the art director for the game, or the lead animator, sorry, he wasn't art director. But I had some email conversations with him long as time ago. I interviewed him for my old Space Quest fan site, actually. Still up there somewhere on archive.org. Don't go look for it. It's actually on the virtual broom closet as well. Sorry, rambling. Anyway, he told me. This was all drawn on the computer. But not 3D rendered. Okay, let's have a look around.
These little islets drip a pancreatic enzyme. This is later mixed with some stuff from the gallbladder to make that wonderful green bile antifreeze-looking stuff that humanoid hurlers the universe over have come to know and hate.
So this is the 1 out of 2 necessary cocktail for vomit. Goody. What is this drippy stuff? I guess that's just...
Drops of pancreatic enzymes drip from the overhanging cell units.
Also, they bothered writing a description for an object that's on the screen for a fraction of a second, but alright, I'll stop. I'll stop now. What we need to do is, in fact, create vomit. So we'll just capture some of this in our helmet.
You maneuver your helmet beneath the drip and manage to snag a nice little dollop of the stuff.
Good stuff. And that's basically all we need from here. Although it certainly is a very nice screen. I quite enjoy being there. The Isle of Langham. Sounds like a vacation spot, doesn't it? Sounds like somewhere you could go with the kids. Just, where are you off to this summer, Bob? Oh, well, you know, the last time we went to Mallorca, we went to Greece, and, you know, there's just all these tourists, and it gets a bit cramped. The kids are crying in the car. It's so hard to get away with, you know, killing travel agents, burying them in remote parts. I don't know what you do on your vacations. Anyway, this year I thought we'd visit the Isle of Langerhans. You know, just shrink ourselves to microscopic size, shove ourselves up the anus of some poor kid, and just, you know, traipse around his digestive system. And when we're all done, you know, we'll just start poking his insides with needles. Again, don't know what you guys do on your holidays, but yeah.
This is the cystic duct. You are quite near where the gallbladder becomes part of the bile parade.
There's going to be a parade? Cool. Also, this little thing.
A large gallstone hangs above the entrance to the gallbladder.
Neato. I'll bet that
This
won't...
is-
excuse me. I'll bet that won't become an issue in the future. Almost certainly not. More drippy stuff. Good. We like the drippy.
Wow, check out all that bile. Looks like her liver's been doing just fine. That's a pool of bile any liver would be proud of. You sure can't speak highly of its aroma.
Well, you know that lovely smell vomit has that just makes you want to vomit yourself? Yeah. Imagine how this dude feels just traipsing around inside here. Now, I wonder, have I screwed les pouches? I think I might have.
Careful.
Yeah.
Nice
Supposed to
work.
combine these two.
You've
Yeah.
hooked up your makeshift hose to the pump.
Thank you for that. I think, you know, we're supposed to gather some of this shit up, but I'm actually wondering if I can gather both of these items up in the helmet at the same time. For some contrived reason, they might not let me, but also I think they might let me. So we'll see. Let's go fishing
You
at
chuck
any
one
rate.
of the taped capillaries over the muscular ledge. It drops into the pool.
Muscular ledge. Oddly, that is what I call my, Oh, he had the helmet all on his own. Cool. Well, that is very, very nice of him. Yes, it turns out we can mix the two fluids together to form. Are you ready for
You
it?
give the pump a stroke or two,
Vomit.
and in the process, gather a nice helmet load of bile. I guess congratulations are in order.
Yeah, especially considering we're not actually given any hints for this. Also, there is a way to, well, not in the game itself, but there was supposed to be a way of either kicking the pump over into the pool of bile or, you know, just taking it with you, but
You've got plenty of that stuff. Or did you want to take some home to Mom?
it's all in the resource files, but I guess the game programmers or whatever just decided, nah, why bother? Dum dum dee dum 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 dum. We have got vomit and bile. It is a great day. Nothing bad can happen. Oh, was a little bit of parody there for you, although that's kind of a lazy parody of Raiders of the Lost Ark. But I'm actually wondering, did that... I wonder if there was supposed to have been a puzzle associated with that. Oh, that's creating a blockage. That doesn't look good. Someone should do something about that. Anyway, now the area upstairs is inaccessible. Hashtag second language. But on the flip side, we got ourselves a nice little array of gallstone pebbling.
Nice gallstone collection.
I think I should have some. Always need some gallstones. I mean, at this point you have to wonder if Roger is just winging this and just going around picking up weird slimy or scaly or prickly shit and just, you know, having a whale of a time. Almost forgetting. So what the hell am I supposed to be doing in here? Oh, right. Because he's been staying like for 45 minutes just poking the inside of her gallbladder going, wow, it makes a squishy sound. Roger, easily amused by bodily functions. So now it is time to actually solve a puzzle. What we are supposed to know instinctively from this timed release pill and the very, very helpful descriptions associated with it is that this little concoction...
Let's look at it together and see what we can see, okay?
Which also has a uniquely helpful description, will in fact break down the timed release pill into smaller chunks. Smaller chunks that are, in fact, easier to carry. Let me guess.
It's one of those tiny timed release pills.
Well, I was going for there being no look description. What there is actually a recycled description.
You now own one of those tiny timed release pills.
You can almost hear Gary Owens being just a little tired when he read that line. Maybe it was an end of the session kind of thing. Now, the last time we were here, we didn't quite have the opportunity to show you what actually happens when dear old Mr. Wormy Boy down here gets a little too frisky. And it's actually that.
Since you've entered the tapeworm not partially digested, you'll probably give him heartburn. I hope you're proud of yourself.
Now that was what was supposed to happen, if you got too close to him. However, now that we have one of these little time-released pills, which again are these circular objects just gradiented to hell.
It's one of those neat little time-released time pills.
Oh, now it's a time-released time pills. Does it actually transport you through time? No. It does in fact make this little dude very, very excited.
Impressive. The tapeworm suddenly becomes much more animated.
Yeah, now this little dude is hopped up on sugar and amphetamines and who knows what else. Look at how adorable he is. And now I can actually climb down and really get a good up-close and personal look at him. Just stare right into that maw. Go on, Roger, stare at it. There you go. He's adorable, isn't he? I think I'll name him Spunky.
The tapeworm is a little wired, thanks to you. He looks like he has plenty of energy.
Well, fuck. Let's go for a ride, shall we?
Please remember to keep your arms and legs on the worm at all times.
Aye, aye, Captain. They said he was wired. They didn't say he was that animated. At least, I think tapeworms don't really move around that much. So maybe this is as wired as a tapeworm can get. Also, well, let's just...
Yow! Now that's a ride you won't take in the Magic Kingdom.
I like the way Gary always just goes, yow! Like he's a fucking Mick Jagger rock star-y kind of person. Anyway, I don't think... not knowing that much about tapeworms, I don't think Spunky here actually does move around stomachs that much. He just sort of lies there and, you know, stuff piles into his mouth, which is how we became friends with him in the first place. Look at that tongue action. Yeah, draw your own conclusions. Hi, how you doing, Spunky?
That's your vermiform friend who, with a little help from organic and pharmaceutical resources, was kind enough to give you that ride along the approximately 6.5 meters or so of small intestine that lies between here and the duodenum.
So that's where we are. Again, there's not really much of a reason for Roger to befriend a tapeworm and take a ride into the, what was it, small intestine?
Egads, man, just how low have we sunk? All the way to the junction of the large and small intestines, that's how low. This also happens to be the home of the appendix.
Ah, yes, the appendix. That is where we want to go. Holy cripey-o. The often laughed at part of the human body that people just chop off for the hell of it, because what in the fuck is this thing supposed to be anyway?
This is the appendix. It's a strange piece of the humanoid anatomy considered by some medical types to be fairly useless.
Although it can
inflame. It may not
inflame.
be useful, but it does seem to collect some strange stuff.
That it does. First of all, it collects more circles with gradients in them, and also some other stuff. Notably,
it looks like an old silver amalgam filling. Must have been bouncing around here for years.
Silver! Ringing any bells? Yes, it is in fact the piece of the intermix chamber thingy-majig on our shuttle. The thing that we need. So let's grab some silver.
You pull away a cracked piece of the filling.
Neato. But let's not leave without checking out the other things that are in here. For instance,
it's a fingernail, complete with paint. These have a knack for making it down here. Suddenly, you wonder when Stellar grew such long nails. Perhaps you haven't been thinking of Stellar as a woman as much as a crewmate. You feel an interesting longing.
So, keep it in your pants, boy.
Kills that feeling fast.
There you go.
But maybe after this is all over.
There's some conflicting emotions going on here. Wow, she's actually a woman. Except I'm hanging out in her ass, basically. Which reminds me, you can try an exit to the left, which would bring you to...
No, I think I've already done things above and beyond the call of duty. Hey, a guy has to draw the line somewhere, and gosh darn it, this guy's drawn the line right at the colon.
You've never even met her mother.
Yeah.
And that would actually have been a lot more funny if Roger didn't go, yeah, at the end. But yes, we're not actually in her ass, which is very, very close to it. So anyway, appendix. Anyway, fingernail. We actually need this. So we're just gonna break off a piece here.
You snap off a shard of fingernail and gingerly introduce it into your pocket.
A hell of a phrase, isn't it? There's actually one more thing we need to get down here.
It's a relatively unscathed paperclip.
And of course, you run across some paperclip. First of all, you want to use it to just sort of unfurl your tongue so you can talk normally. And second, snap it off. Oh, he almost went out of the frame there, or out of the boundary.
You carefully, very carefully, stow the paperclip in your pocket.
Now, why are we being especially careful with this thing? The fingernail looked sharp and pointy, and it's jagged. You ever, taken off a piece of fingernail and just accidentally scraped it against your hand? Again, I don't know what you do on your vacations. But ow. But the paperclip, fuck. Also, there are a couple more items here. We don't actually need them.
How does she get this stuff into her digestive system? That's a screw Stellar probably doesn't remember.
Why is she... Also, there's a very, very tiny screw next to a fingernail. I mean... Well, yeah, then again, I guess screws are kind of small. And a coin.
Talk about hard currency. The Buckazoid has proven itself once again. This is even one of the old-style ones. Might be worth some money. Too bad you can't carry it.
Yeah, hardly the time, though. I mean, what happens if Roger is carrying it and it enlarges with the rest of Roger? Assuming we ever get re-enlarged. Wouldn't the Buckazoid just balloon in size? It's not like it remembers what size it was, so, well, fuck it. Now, onwards, back to whence we came, and time for what is probably the best line in the game. At least it is my favorite, and the favorite of other people I know. So, let's hear it. Hey, Spunky. How you doing?
So you like the worm, huh? You like to ride the worm, huh? I let you ride the worm.
And now we get that fucking cutscene all over again, the pre-rendered one. And no, it is unskippable. So, yay. Also, there's a lot of audio popping, and it also did that on my old 486 and my old Pentium and shit. This animation is just rendered to hell, I guess. For some reason, the WAV file that's playing in the background just pops a lot. Cheers, Spunky. May you live forever, which would be a bad thing for Stellar. So anyway, let's go back and introduce the silver that we now have to our shuttle. Because this means we can now finally, well, get the thing up and running again. But we've had a nice time, haven't we? We've, you know, stuck things in her esophagus, created vomit, fed a tapeworm that you normally want to get rid of, and ow, that does not look good. We shouldn't, you know, can't really take it down. I mean, someone's just obviously going to go in there and you know, fix that. Get all still the best sound effect in the entire game. Yum yum. Anyway, this has been a wonderful visit to the stomach. 10 out of 10. Would bile again. So let's just shove the silver into...
Excellent guess, Kreskin. Wrong, but excellent.
It's a bit of a pixel hunt, this one. I think this is just the light, and the intermix bit, or the bit where you're supposed to shove it in, is up here somewhere. Oh, he walks all the way up to it too.
Uh-oh. This tank's cover must have come open during Mr. Wilco's wild ride.
Yeah, I think this is the one we need to shove it in, so here we go. There we are, and the light has stopped ringing. In fact, it's gone green.
The reassuring green indicates, yes, I am ready to rock and roll.
Aren't we all? So let us enter our abode. In fact, let's increase the cycles again. I'm a little tired of him shuffling around.
Replace the EVA suit in its proper place.
As you would. But everything here seems to check out. We are good to go, so let's initialize something. Oh,
Perhaps
wait.
I'd get farther if I kept the subroutine disk in its slot.
He said that sarcastically. Launch initiation failed, but we did get a disk from Mr. Bellows, Doctor, in fact.
It's the subroutine program disk the doctor gave you to be able to navigate through Stellar's body.
And navigate we shall. So let's pop this sucker in. Bet you're wondering what these subroutine program cardy things were for. Let's try and shove it in manual side.
That's an interesting idea.
Not what we're supposed to, so let's just shove it in here instead. Cracked by the numbnut guys. Oh, it's fast. He just generated that software like 5 minutes before we got in there, and it's already been cracked. Guess that's kind of a... Ah, see, all the nanites have been removed from the stomach area. I guess we're supposed to get to the brain area next. Would be fun, wouldn't it? Also, look at the hourglass figure on her. So anyway, I was saying it probably was a little swipe at the rampant piracy of the early to mid-90s, which were, of course, entirely eliminated by games coming out on the CD-ROM format, optical disc formats, and was, as far as I've heard, never heard from again. Piracy has been completely extinguished. So, good on you. Timely, very timely joke there. Space Quest. Now, location locked, heading to the brain. And off we fucking deed. Now, as Roger traverses precariously towards, you know, that bit of human anatomy that must not be damaged under any circumstance, I think it is time to end the episode. Holy shit, look at that. Now, if that's not a teaser for next week's triumphant adventures, then I don't know what is. Have a look at this shit.
Yipes! So this is the old gray matter, huh? What a mess!
Well, you speak for yourself, buddy. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this. Please like, subscribe, do whatever you kids do. Do leave me a comment because, as you know, I tremendously love the comments. And upon our return next week, we shall indeed traverse and traipse around the brain. By far, the most disgusting bit of the game. If you thought throwing vomit all over pills and feeding them to tapeworms was disgusting, check out what happens in the next installment. Actually, now that I think of it, might be a bit of a toss-up. Also, that stomach ulcer thing with the sound effect, yeah. Hey, you know what? It's a bit of a toss-up. But as far as teasers go, hell, that's the best I've got. So anyway, thank you, and I'll see you around the Chrono Stream.